Now I want to continue on with this look at Psalms 123, or Psalms 23, excuse me. We started out with the first verse, the Lord, Yahweh, the God, our Adonai, our Father. He's my shepherd. He guides me, he directs me. And because he is our shepherd and he guides and he directs us and he's a mighty God, we shall not want, or we have all we need. And during a time like this, when there's a difference between wants and needs, um, I want to be normal. I want to be running around town. I want to go to the mall. I want, and what we need. And we trust that He'll provide our needs because He's a great shepherd. And the next little line there, it says, He makes me lie down in green pastures. We read this verse a lot as kids. Sometimes it's a memorization thing. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie beside green pastures. It would go through this whole thing. And, shepherds had a task. The Lord is our shepherd. And shepherds had a task, and that task was to keep the sheep from being stupid. Really, they were to keep the sheep in line. And this verse, when it says, He makes me lie down, makes is a strong word. It's not He asks me to lie down, or He kind of guides me to lie down, or He makes a way for me to lie down. It's He makes me lie down. He makes me lie down by the green pastures, by those really good things that He knows are going to help us and protect us, but He makes us. Do you realize one of the things a shepherd would do with a small brand new lamb is they would discipline them. Often as parents, we discipline our kids to keep them in line. We discipline them so that they don't get hurt. Shepherds in the old world would actually take a lamb, and if you've ever seen the nice picture of Jesus, there's a good shepherd with the sheep over his shoulders, like Bo Jackson back in the day. He's got the sheep over his shoulders, and we're like, oh, that's just so nice. He's carrying the sheep. And do you realize what they would do to carry the sheep? When a sheep would not listen, when they would run off, when they would not hear the master's voice, the shepherd would the shepherd would break its legs. The shepherd would break its legs so that he could carry it, and that sheep could get to know the shepherd's voice. So by the time that the lamb was healed and was older, it would love, know, and care for that shepherd's voice and listen for it. Church, sometimes we go through those times, those dark nights of the soul, those times where the shepherd is disciplining us. The shepherd is maybe breaking our legs, knocking our knees out from underneath us, causing us to slow down, to remember to be still because I am God. Those are not the fun times of our life. Those aren't the joys, but when we go through them, James says, when that the hard times come so that we're made stronger and wiser in our faith. Sometimes the Lord slows us down. I can remember on a one of my trips that I was leading. I was in Mexico at the time, back-to-back ministries. I talked about them on Sunday, and I was in Mexico leading this trip, and I was overextended. Work was stressful. My missions trips, this was a part of work. And I just was running, and didn't have a lot of family time, didn't have a lot of like day alone with God time, any private time, and I just was on full speed for about a month straight. And I got down to Mexico, and the very first day, I got heat exhaustion like I've never gotten before. And my knees got knocked out from underneath me for well over a day. I mean, if you've ever had heat exhaustion in a place that doesn't have air conditioning, all you've got is a fan or a swamp cooler trying to keep you cool. It just doesn't work. It doesn't ever cool you down. And I slept and I cried and I argued and yelled at God. I was just so mad because here I was down there to lead this ministry. I was down there to lead this mission trip. All these people were relying on me. And he knocked my knees out from underneath me. And I spent a couple days just seeking him, learning from it. There was a song. I'm as a musician, I love music. And there was a song by the Robbie Say Band called Slow Me Down. And for some stupid reason, it kept showing up on my playlist as I'm listening to music. And I don't know why. Well, I mean, I do know why, right? But I hated that song. I hated it because those were the words that I needed to hear, but I didn't want to hear it. See, sometimes the Lord is my shepherd. He is a good shepherd, but he makes us lie down. He makes us take a break from the pace of life. He makes us take a break to rely on him, to hear his voice. And I'm not sitting here trying to prophesy and say this is all of God and we are forced to shelter at home or stay at home order. We're forced to do that because God's trying to get our attention. Hindsight's always easiest, but I do think that we can benefit from some time of just sitting before our Father every day in a brand new way, listening to his voice, learning from him, opening up our word, finding a YouVersion Bible plan, something that gets us closer to the heart of God. So I don't know what it is for you today, what it is that you need to slow down from. Be still and know that I am God, right? That we need to listen to it. I was texting back and forth with somebody last night who will go into work today to find out if they get time off. They don't know. And time off is a good way of putting it, right? They don't know if they'll be laid off during this period, if they're essential or not. I've had conversations with others who really wish that they weren't essential that are, but we all can respond differently during this time. And my challenge, as it has been every single Sunday and in these devotions, is how will you hear the voice of God and reach out to this community around you? Had a message on the church's page just this morning as well from somebody who's just torn in spirit over those that are hurting right now, from our kids that need meals and the homeless and the elderly and all of those that are already lonely, that are even more isolated now. So my prayer is that we'll be able to step up during this time. Maybe it's get some post-it notes and put post-it notes on your neighbor's doors just saying, hey, praying for you. If there's anything you need, here's my number. Maybe the first time that you've ever met some of those neighbors. But we do it out of the strength that we have, right? That's what our sermon was on Sunday, was the strength that we have. Gideon was told to go out in the strength that he had because God was with him. We go out into our neighborhoods, we go out into our village, we go out into our county and our world with the strength that we have. Because my strength may be imperfect, but God's is perfect. And he's the one walking alongside me, guiding me, directing me. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down beside the green pastures, because remember, he knows the green ones. He knows what is healthier for us. You know, we often think of that green pasture in an American way. You know, I grew up in Michigan and you had beautiful grass, and then went down to Florida where all you got is crabgrass. It's just weeds and it was nasty. And I'm like, I want real grass again. And, it's kind of funny, around my house, I have like patches of it, very small little patches of really nice grass. And then the rest is just kind of, you don't really want to walk barefoot in it grass. But the Lord makes us lie down beside green pastures. Now, if you've ever seen pictures of Israel and the mountainsides where David would have been writing this, they're not green like Kentucky bluegrass green. They're not green like Michigan thick blade grass green. In fact, they're very dry. They're very dry, sparse hillsides. The shepherd would have to guide the sheep, walk them to the tufts of grass, these little tufts, so they could eat. He makes them lie down by green pastures. Green pastures are not the way we would envision it. Sometimes the sheep maybe didn't even realize they were among green pastures. Church, we could be looking at this day and age and the time that we are in as a nightmare. As a nightmare. We could be falling prey to fear and anxiety instead of realizing that the shepherd has us by a green pasture. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. He has us alongside the green pasture for his name's sake. He is guiding us, directing us along our neighbors and just fertile soil right now. So I pray that will encourage us a little bit today, remembering the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, and he maketh me lie down beside green pastures. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning at 9:30.